Guys, we're live. We got Ben in the UK. Ben happens to be from the Australia. And we got Cheryl and we got Greg Norton. And there are in North Carolina. We got Michael in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we got Mel down here in Costa Rica, sunny Costa Rica. And we got a lot of stuff happening on. The world's on fire. And we're just having a good time because it's going to get pretty crazy out there, I think, in the next few months. I don't particularly agree with Phil. I don't know if you guys know who Phil is, Goletsky. Phil says, that XRP is going to be the only cryptocurrency. That means all 14,000 of them are going to go away. I don't agree with that. You guys are, I'm sure, are on the same page with the 17th letter in the alphabet, which we're not allowed to mention, by the way. Otherwise, we get flagged. Where are you guys at? Ben, do you want to take over? What's going on in the UK, for example, in regards to all of, I understand he came out with a green tie, correct? Boris?
Yeah, Boris Johnson. Yeah.
And I'm just connecting dots and colors, okay? POTUS was on Hannity saying we got a green light. This guy shows up with a green tie. They say it's not him. They say it's a clone. Very possible. POTUS in Arizona did not look like POTUS, etc. We're watching a movie. There's no question that this is a movie in real life, okay? Yeah. And we have no idea who's behind the mask or if it's a clone. I have no clue, but I can tell you we're living in the most epic times ever. If you're bored, shame on you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, I'm just munching away on the popcorn and loving it. So, yeah, no, it's really cool. And yeah, look, Boris Johnson, that's a pretty shocking clone. I just must say, he has this weird, now mop platinum blonde dyed hair. And I've those memes and photos that all float around, of all the clones. And there's some better ones. But his is pretty, crappy. So, yeah, no, I agree, Mel. But yeah, the good news as well on the UK front. Not sure if you guys saw that, but a lot of the sort of mandates and everything sort of just, it's just sort of wrapped up basically. I'm not sure if you guys heard that news. It's sort of
successful.
So. Yeah, no, it's very exciting that, everything's sort of winding down. So, yeah, it's cool.
So are we watching sort of like we're waiting for the credits to roll up? Are we in the ending of the movie? Michael says yes. He's giving me a thumbs up here. I'm taking that as a yes. Michael, where are we at? Seriously.
Oh, I was listening to you and Ellie or Eli's talk earlier and kind of feeling the same way as him. It's like I'm getting, and you mentioned cognitive dissonance, and it's like we just have these dates and stuff, or if I got involved in the 17 right before that White House press conference where Mr. T dropped the it feels like the calm before the storm. So I was following from pretty much out the gate, and I've been waiting for all this stuff to happen, and it kind of lost a lot of hope with this occupant in there for so long, and gaining hope after 1 year Delta has passed since the whatever that was, that silliness at the Capitol. So I'm hopeful, but it's now I feel kind of like XRP has to pop by summer. And so I was watching your one about when XRP hits 50K, what's your life going to be like? And while I was watching that, a little notification came up for a workshop in Hawaii. And so I was already feeling like, by April, May, hopefully we're going to have enough money to take that relaxing break that you talk about, because it's stressful, man. Having these diamond hands, it is hard work.
It sure is. It sure is. And I'll tell you, When we used to have an event with one of these where there's a mass, right? I can't say the word because we might get flagged, so I got to be very careful. Obama was the best salesman for these, right? Remember? Because they would say, hey, we're going to ban these, and because of the mass, right? And then what would happen is people would line up around the block at all the shops and buy as many of these and as many, as they can, correct? And Biden, like him or hate him, he's going to go down as the most incredible salesman for crypto in the history of the world, because the entire global economy is about to take a shit. And it's got to take a shit into something, and that something happens to be cryptos. It's not going to be the stock market. So when you take into accountability that we're getting ready to move all the money on earth, the GESARA NESARA, are you up to speed on GESARA NESARA? Have you gone through our course that we give away for free, basically?
You know what? I've been on this tip for a long time. There was this, I swear, back when I was living in Seattle, before I lived in Las Vegas, there was this company out of Las Vegas, and there was this book I got called Neotech. And it was this black book, and it talked about at some point, all the criminals aren't going to have any place to go because there'll be a worldwide matrix of bad people, like a repository of names of people that have done ill against the world, and people just won't relate with them. And
Exactly.
And I first heard of GESARA NESARA probably 12 years ago. And it's like one of those diamond hand things. I feel like all this stuff is happening, but it's behind the scenes, and you get fed all this crap where, like the IRS going away, like you're talking about XRP or anything not really needing to be available here in the next 6-10 years, because we're going to have like replicators like Star Trek and shit. We're not going to need money to operate soon. So some of that almost feels like a jip, because like we got the tip from God, in the last couple of years to get this XRP and fight in this giant war of good and evil, and it feels like we're going to get a taste of it, but it's going to be gone really. And maybe that's just the eliteness, and maybe I need to get rid of that whole notion of being, at this elite phase of being a millionaire, whatever. I have a really small bag, because
Personally,
kind of like,
yeah. Personally, I think the monetary system. You're looking at somebody that is a highly ambitious, highly motivated. I want the mega yacht. I want not the heliport to land the helicopter on it necessarily, but maybe a flying saucer. Okay. So if I want to go from point A to point B, I want to either go very, very slow and relax getting there, or I want to go very, very fast and get there very quickly, right? I'm one extreme or the other. So, they painted this lifestyle for us that this is the way you're supposed to live. And now we got our hands on that asset, the XRP, the one that's going to get us there, and they want to take it away. And we're like, a bunch of bull mastiffs with like rabies with a bone in our mouth, and we're not about to let go anytime soon, right? And they know that we know how valuable it is. So anything is going to be on the table here in the future, as far as them maybe making us an offer. And some people may take that offer. So you got to scratch your head and say, if they come to the table with a very substantial offer, you got to say, what's it really worth? Because at the end of the day, we all have the greed gene, right? I mean, I'm sure that, Greg, you got a little greed gene in there too, right? Somewhere?
Who, me? Yes.
Yeah, everybody does. It's a normal thing. Okay, so and you start to
greed gene.
Go ahead, Cheryl, say it.
I said, I don't have a greed gene. I don't want to call it that.
Well, it's not about just having abundance for us, because we can help a lot of people. It's really not only about us. It's not a selfish thing. It's like, oh yeah, but a guy that can afford a 285-foot yacht can also afford, to help a lot of people. The reality is, unfortunately, the 7,200 billionaires and multi-billionaires that exist right now have spent most of their wealth making us unhealthy and selling us, things that don't work. When you go to the hospitals, and all of this stuff is about to go away. They know it. Listen, if little guys like us know that med beds are coming and flying saucers are coming and money's going to be obsolete and all this stuff, you don't think they know? Why do you think this fight is? Their pyramid of their Ponzi scheme of making trillions of dollars per year is about to vanish like that, And so to think that they're not going to put up a fight is just ludicrous. I'm pretty sure they know.
And I want to say too, like in your talk with Autumn a couple of weeks ago, you're talking about how deep the tendrils are, but like one thing I've felt about the movement, about 17, about XRP, I've watched a bunch of XRP guys, from XRP Chiz to Bearable Bull to BC Blockchain Backer to Lambo to, digital asset, digital perspectives. I feel like all the people that are involved in this and the truth movement, whatever you want to call it, whether they've devoted themselves to a deity or a religion or a particular movement, it seems like this group of people is made up of people that at least have devoted themselves to a moral code. They've got ethics in their life, and they're going to do good things, like you say, with these riches that are going to be, 1,000 times more impactful than hopefully all the bad billionaires.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. See, I've always said that if you got right now, if you go on Google, it might be 7,300 now for all I know, but about 2 months ago, there was 7,200 multi-billionaires. These are the guys who run the planet. Most of them don't like us too much. And there's a whole new ruling class that's about to rise up, and they know it. And, there's an old saying, payback is a bitch. So, and they know that, if you got a couple of guys like me and a couple of guys like you, we're not going to go out and look for trouble. But man, if you get in our face and we got the wherewithal and you're looking for a fight, like Alex Jones likes to say, you better believe you got one, right? And and that's what they're fighting. I mean, they're about to lose their power. Exactly.
What do they call it? The FU money?
Absolutely. Ben, chime in, brother. Come on. Talk to me. I want to say something.
I'm a bit of a pit bull when it comes to, when it I've had it up to my neck with the elites, and I've had a family history of it too. I've had my family are actually, Jewish Holocaust survivors and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I've sort of, and I've sort of seen, how, a few rich psycho politicians or billionaires or the elites can just terrorize the world. And I'm just glad I'm seeing, I'm seeing the end of it, and then I'm coming and seeing the other side too. I just feel really lucky to be alive at this time,
Yeah. Are you in agreement with the fact that I think, not to toot my own horn, I mean, we're a small little microcosm of what, a digital asset investor or digital perspectives or Crypto Eddie, Kevin Cage, Alex Cobb, these guys have been around for a long time. I mean, I'm new to the picture as far. I went the other way. I said, okay, these guys are talking about the politics of it, the SEC, how we're being screwed, how we're being, all of this. I'm saying there's a whole other realm of dots that they haven't even looked at or examined. And that's where I attacked, where, okay, the QFS is real. The QFS is definitely attached to the quantum financial, low-lying satellites. The nodes for XRP definitely reside on there. Somehow, some way, GESARA NESARA is part of it. XRP, according to Will, what's his name? See if I can remember his name. He was on Nino Rodriguez recently. Oh, damn, I can't think of his name. But anyway, I think his name is, let me get his name. I'm going to blank out here in a second. But once I got it on the tip of my thumb, I gotta come out with it. Will something. Well, anyway, not important. I'll get to it. I'll find it because he's here somewhere. But in any event, he said that XRP is going to be the bus that's going to drive GESARA NESARA. You know the interview I'm talking about? Guys, did you watch that
yeah,
one?
Actually, yeah, I haven't seen it, but I do know that there's so many people in the truth movement that are all behind XRP.
Right, Jim Willie. His video today with Nino Rodriguez went over 147,000 hits. It's 7 days, not even 7 days old. That's tremendous. I'm in touch with him.
You're going to talk to him, right, Mel? You're going to get him.
There's 30, we've gone back right now. I'm looking at, there's a number 35 next to his name. That means we went back and forth 35 times. So at some point, we'll definitely talk. And we'll see where the chips may land. He's very conservative in what he thinks XRP is going to be worth in, you know, the next 5 years, 3 years, whatever. And I think that he's missing a couple of zeros. And I'm either going to convince him or he's going to convince me. So if you got any money, bet it on this dude. You know, you were going to say something, Michael. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually curious about how excited Ben is that everything's getting unrestricted, and also just kind of curious about Greg and oh shoot, Cheryl. Yeah. You know, sorry, Sheila, I just went there.
Cheryl.
Right. Cheryl. But you're in Australia, right? I called her a Sheila. Is a international joke, but surely you guys have seen some terrible you know, government oversight from what we've heard. I don't know if
in North Carolina. In North Carolina, is that what you're talking about?
Oh, I thought you were from Australia.
Oh yeah, I'm from Aussie background, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so my Sheila joke didn't even work. I thought Greg and Cheryl were down in Australia.
Cool.
Hey, listen. I'm in the construction staffing industry, and we provide workers to commercial construction contractors. So this latest round of the OSHA bullshit, you know, I work for a company that was, you know, we're not going to mandate it. We don't want you to do it if you don't want to. It's up to you, blah, 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 blah. But then when the OSHA started coming down the pike, the assholes got real tight, excuse my French. And all of a sudden it went from, well, you don't have to get it if you don't want to we strongly suggest it. And it was just amazing to me what money and the threat of OSHA, who has no legal authority to do any of the crap that they said they were going to do, but money and, you know, the scare tactics of fear, which we all know is false evidence appearing real. It blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Yeah. Are you guys all in agreement that there are two systems competing for each other, the quantum financial system and the global reset being two different things? Global reset being communism and the quantum financial system being GESARA NESARA and everything we preach, right? We're in agreement. But because they have the bully pulpit and they're on the media constantly pounding it, I'm only one guy here pounding the drum as loud as I can, saying, wait a minute, no. It's not the reset. The reset's not going to happen. It's the quantum financial system. You guys are in agreement with that, or are you guys at odds with that? Let me know.
No,
Yeah, well, and you asked about XRP. What I have read, and I'm definitely a rookie with the money stuff. I have most of my information along with discernment. I have listened and mainly read a lot of Whiplash. You guys know, is it y'all?
Yeah.
Who's familiar with
347?
Huh?
347?
Yeah. And that's where for at least close to probably a year I've been reading. Now I don't understand, but that when you read something for a year, there are some common threads that go throughout. And definitely what I feel like they're saying, along with other people too, is that XRP is going to be the vehicle.
Oh, there's no question. You know, Whiplash just featured me on his channel not too long ago. I'm sure you guys know about this. And my channel, because I said somebody called me and they left me a voice message. And I replied to that voice message. And I took those two voice messages and I put them in my room. Now, obviously, Whiplash has some spies in my room, good people, obviously, right? And they took those two messages. One was from my friend Jim Gale, foodforestabundance.com, which is going to be underneath this video. It's underneath all my videos. And they took my message because it says, hey, bro, because you're not going to believe this, but there's arrests going down, and it's on mainstream media. And I replied something back to him that was very compelling, and they took those two audios and put it over on Whiplash. The next thing I know, there are hundreds and hundreds of people every hour joining our Telegram. And I'm saying, what in the world is going on? Where are all these people coming from? Then I found out some Sandra and a few people that are administrators, hey, you're not going to believe this. You were on Whiplash. I said, Whiplash? Who was Whiplash? You know, I had no idea. But yeah, no, listen, let me tell you something, Cheryl, with all due respect. I know you think you're a newbie, and I would like to experiment with you. I'm gonna make you a project with the permission of your husband. Okay? I want you to go underneath this video when we upload it. There's the Quantum Financial Systems Manual, and I want you to make some time to dive into that thing as heavily as you can. I don't care if you take 3 weeks or 3 months, but I guarantee you, once you come out of there, providing you watch the videos top to bottom and you read the website about GESARA NESARA. Now, we also put in there, we just hedged our bet. Just in the event that the bad guys win and we lose, just in case, we also have ways for you to not pay any taxes legally, zero. It's called a 501c3. All the big corporations do it. The church does it. All your big actor names do it. All the big, CEO tycoons do it. It's perfectly legal for them, and it's perfectly legal for you if you know the rules to the game. We put the rules to the game inside the Quantum Financial Systems Manual, just in case, right? But we know that GESARA NESARA is coming. We know the IRS. Look, the IRS building, you guys know, what's his name? Richard Citizen, journalist, you know what I'm talking about? The guy that hangs out down in Washington, D.C. How many times has he filmed the IRS building? How many times has he filmed the FBI building, the CIA building? There's nobody home.
Not as many as Nancy Drew.
Oh, there you go. That's another one.
Nancy Drew.
That's another one. Yes, you're absolutely right.
You asked how many times has he filmed it, and I said not as many times as Nancy Drew.
Well, this guy just went to jail. Richard, citizen journalist, went to jail, and he just came out, and he was interviewed about
3 months ago. That was about 3 months ago.
Exactly, and he was interviewed immediately. He came out of jail. He was at a Starbucks or something along those lines, and he was interviewed by Nino Rodriguez. Okay, so I mean, look, these guys don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment and tricks where they can make a building appear to be boarded up. I'm sorry, what you see is what you get. So does anybody like to chime in on that?
I have to agree with my wife, Nancy Drew. If you can start following her, she's awesome, man. I mean, Richard Citizen, he's cool, but
yeah.
Are you guys not familiar with her?
I am. I've seen a few of her videos. I recognize the name. Could you do me a favor? When we close out this video, send me a link, and I'm going to put her in below as well. Fair enough? We're going to give her some exposure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Grew up reading her in the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? They had the lights
her
at
real
the
name
White
is
House.
Sheila.
No, her real name is Kelly Marie Brady, or at least that's on Facebook.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is, somebody was filming the White House, guys, and they had the lights on a timer at the White House at the exact same time.
The webcam's been my thing for over a year too. Like, I'm addicted to looking to the White House webcam. So
yeah, and at the same exact times, the lights will go on and off at the White House every day. And they caught there's not one breadcrumb that the 17th letter in the alphabet is not going to catch. I was a hardcore, Alex Jones fan for 26, 27 years. I've literally stopped watching Alex Jones because he's still painting the picture as if the sky is falling. And I'm saying, no, the 17th letter in the alphabet's got it right. Maybe Alex was hired by Flynn or some of these guys saying, look, you got to paint the picture. You got to make it look like the sky's falling because we got to keep the enemy off balance. That's a possibility. You know what I mean?
So let me tell you how into it we are. We have a Trump flag that is hanging in our front window that has been there for a year and a half at least, well before the election. We have left it there. We have complete faith in Q and,
17 letters.
Trump.
Okay.
The 17th letter, sorry. So
Yes,
big
it's fine.
time. Big time.
Yeah, no, listen, hey, I still got my Trump election banner that we put on the wall, and it's still hanging there right now. In the other room, I had a house full of people. We watched the election. We were here till 3 o'clock in the morning. We woke up the next day and what the hell happened? Ridiculous. I mean, it was so in your face. But listen, I get into arguments with people all the time because when I know my shit, it's pretty hard to argue with a guy like me. I'm a hard-headed Italian, or Italian, depending on where you're from. and so when you're looking at these things against the light, they're looking for watermarks, aren't they? Ultraviolet light. Did you see the investigation they had going on in Maricopa? These people were holding these pieces of paper up against some ultraviolet light. What are they looking for?
Well, I'd heard it was like I don't know if it was the Secret Service, but somebody was tipped off to the election fraud to begin with. And so they put.
Don't mention election fraud, just say election debacle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The craziness in November, they embedded all kinds of stuff like they do in currency.
Right.
They embedded, back to lemon juice, invisible ink.
Sure. Sure. So the new currency that's coming out, the rainbow currency, is going to be also on the blockchain. What do you guys know about that, Ben? You know anything about the rainbow currency at all?
Look, not massively, to be honest, but I have seen a lot of I've seen the actual, on Telegram, the actual physical, photos of them. And, they've got the different Kennedys in them and Abraham Lincoln and a few of them. So yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. So it looks good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen some pictures that Phil put out, and I don't know if those are the official pictures. They look like they could be the official ones, but we don't know. And I don't even know why they're going back to some sort of paper, even though it's going to be tracked by technology and it's going to be on the blockchain. Why don't we just go digital? You know what I mean? Nobody's going to, under GESARA NESARA, ain't nobody going to get checked. Once we win, and this thing is way behind us, there's not going to be a social score, number one. There's not going to be a credit score, number two. All of this stuff goes away, guys, every single bit of it. I mean, we might still have to wait. I think personally, and I'm willing to wait, because what's the outcome? Communism? No, thank you. You know what I mean? What's the outcome? Socialism? Venezuela? I'm not interested. So I'm willing to wait. I'm saying April, May. It looks like we're in the final stages. It looks like both sides, are all in with the casino chips. But, we have to.
I got a question.
Sure.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
We're still newbies, man. I mean, is there any kind of tutorials, whether it be YouTube videos or anything that gets down and dirty? And in other words, I'm sitting there thinking, what's the difference between rainbow currency and XRP? That's what I'm already thinking that, right?
Well,
So
you didn't know what rainbow currency
are there any videos out there that kind of take you down and dirty and explain crypto, why it's here, where it came from, where we're headed, any educational stuff out there?
Yeah, our quantum financial system breaks the cryptocurrency down perfectly. See, all these videos actually exist, on the internet, but you got to go find them and find out which one are the most elementary and what sequential order that we could put them in so that it makes sense to the average person that knows absolutely nothing about this and they can get it. You know what I mean? And that's what we did. Okay. So if you go through our quantum financial system, if you don't cover the rainbow currency aspect of it, but the digital currency aspect, I don't care who you are. When you come out of that thing, you got a 2-year college degree on cryptocurrency, no question about it.
This is on your site, your Telegram site?
Every down below each video, every one of my videos on YouTube, there's a link that takes you directly to the quantum financial systems manual.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's free of charge. Can you guys afford free?
Yeah, free is for me, brother. Hey, listen, I listen to that radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Okay.
Just kidding.
With them.
Exactly.
And you two, it's so complex, that it's, if Cheryl's been watching the White House for a year and listening to Whiplash, for a year, you've got a taste of it. But it's got tendrils like Mel was interviewing Autumn a couple weeks ago and talked about just how deep the deep state is, and just how deep all this stuff is interconnected mostly with the baby bopping and worldwide kid
Absolute
movement.
spiritual warfare. I mean,
Absolute.
like we could have never imagined, but here we are. We live in this world where the technology and the internet, and even spiritually, it's up in the air. And where they're working with Space Force and all the cyber, everything, from my belief is he's and 17 and all, the whole team is going to be, they're changing it over, and what they've got is better than what was there before.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more complicated than we can ever imagine, really. But I do believe that it's totally spiritual warfare. And I, from the get-go, never thought that God was going to waste an opportunity to use the stuff that's up in the heavens. And now it's the technology of what we live in 2022. And he's going to take it and flip it on them. God is going to take it and flip it on them. And
there's a lot of people out there that send me messages and say, Mel, don't you know that, XRP Ripple is backed up by BlackRock and IBM and Bill Gates and all of this stuff. And it's true. But,
I've only heard IBM. I've never heard that Ripple and XRP are, I've only heard IBM, never Bill Gates.
BlackRock.
I actually heard Bill Gates was connected to Ethereum.
But you see, my answer is very simple. Technology could be used for good, or it could be used for bad, correct? So if the good guys win and the technology ends up in the hands of the good guys, it's going to be used for what? Good, just common sense stuff. I hate calling it common sense, because if it was common, everybody would have it. And it's not common, it's good sense. Some of us have it, and most people unfortunately don't. It should never be called common. There's nothing common about common sense. But anyway, that's a whole other argument. So, but yes, see, if you're an entrepreneur and Bill Gates or his clone, whoever it is, comes knocking on your door and says, hey, I want to give you all this money for your idea, you're not going to say no. You're going to take the money and you're going to grow your company, correct?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, God wins, right? The force, the universal force wins. The people, we are, in essence, under control of a higher being right now. Because there's a big movement that it can't be stopped. The bad guys are winning. They know the bad guys are losing, and they know that they're not going to win. And I believe, and I've said this in many podcasts, I believe that many of them are sitting with one of these right next to their night table. Because when they have to come face the music, they're going to go like this. Boom! They don't want to face the music, guys. They don't want what's coming, believe me.
Well, on a biblical level, it does seem like we're in that tribulation period, and we're about to just enter the golden era of 1,000 years of prosperity.
Well, yeah. And you know what? All the bad guys out there, if you're listening, do us a favor, do one of these. This way we'll just have to clean up your brains and, do a little bit of paperwork and we're done with it. You know what I mean? Do us a favor. Get the hell out of here, please. Por favor, as we say in Costa Rica.
God, let's hope.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty amazing that we're in that, as you said, Michael, we're like, as just what I've, what we've all looked at in the last year and what we've, been researching, it very much does look like, we're coming out the other end of the tribulation period, which is spoken about, in Revelations. And yeah, pretty amazing that, we, I don't know, we just sort of come out the other end, and we, we're part of that group of people that, had a backbone basically. So.
well,
Diamond hands.
what I'm trying to do, guys, my friend Jerry Kruger in Miami, my good friend, I've known him for 25 years. He says that I am the new and improved version of Charlie Ward. So what I'm trying to do is create a whole panel of guys like you guys, that some of you one day say, you know what, I think I could do this. I got time, I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel. I got time, I'm gonna start my own Telegram channel. Because, we got to get the word out. Listen, I understand. Look, if you come across somebody who's 92 IQ and they don't want to wake up, just move them out of the way and keep going. Don't even bother looking back, because you're not going to wake everybody up. It's an impossibility. Okay? People watch some of the stuff we watch. We see a certain movie. I know Ben and I do. And then they watch the same movie and say, no, this is not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Mel.
Yeah.
Conceive it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Greg.
I was going to say I'm a big fan of X22. I'm a big fan of
Don't mind.
And We Know.
I love LT. Love LT.
What I found is they just do a really good job of giving a quick synopsis of what's real, because I notice a lot of their stuff comes from Telegram. Just like, and I've seen half of it by the time they do it, but my point is, and I said this earlier in a form of an email, X22 has featured this guy. I think his name's Bitcoin Ben.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin Ben. He's funny.
Yeah, he's like the first time I saw the guy, I'm like, really? Okay. but it seems like X22 gives a lot of credence to that guy and Bitcoin. So,
I love Bitcoin Ben. He looks like the kind of guy that's like a teddy bear. You want to take him home and squeeze his face a little bit. But the reality is, he is the biggest bullshit artist in the Bitcoin community. He was being interviewed by him about 3 months ago by X22. And he said, it's programmed into the code that Bitcoin is always programmed to go up and up and up and up. I'm like, yeah, really? Okay. I actually still got the interview. I got it bookmarked in case you want to see it. It's hysterical. It's like when you take an asset class like Bitcoin, which is a prototype, which is an experiment to see if we can even build one. An experiment gone terribly wrong. You understand that the same guy that built Bitcoin, which is Satoshi Nakamoto, is David Schwartz, is the same guy who built XRP, because he's the only guy that can go back and say, wait a minute, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Okay, let's fix 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to have the perfect coin. And then when they move from
you're saying David Schwartz built both of them?
Oh yeah,
He worked on Bitcoin.
oh yeah. I'll tell you the story. This will be good.
I know Bitcoin, but you say he built XRP too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So check this out.
And
He
now,
worked, he worked for DARPA. He worked for DARPA in the early 2000s. In
Right.
2008, what happened? The housing crisis came down, right? 2008, the debacle with Fannie Mae and all Freddie Mac, all that bullshit, right? Disaster. They went to him and said, listen, we're in a lot of trouble. He patents, you can look this up, he patents blockchain technology in 1988. The internet is brand new in its infancy stages. There's 2 internet companies in the entire world. One was AOL, the other one was CompuServe. He has blockchain technology patented in 1988 in the name of David Schwartz in 1988. the internet is still on dial-up. He works for DARPA.
You said 1988?
Correct. 88, not 98, 88. The internet was just coming out. Now, he go fast forward to the early 2000s, he goes to work for DARPA. The housing bubble happens. They knew before it was going to collapse, that it was going to collapse. They went there and said, listen, your country needs you, buddy. You need to create the next digital currency. With that, they created proof of work, which doesn't work. Bitcoin, which is slow, it's expensive. They try to build a Lightning Network. The Lightning Network doesn't work. They've been at it for more than 4 years. Doesn't work. Go ahead. You're going to ask me something.
So with Bitcoin, and you hear that it's Sashimoto or whatever the guy's name is the founder. I've just in the last 2 days read that it's Schwartz. But so I got a little bit off track here, but and the DARPA thing, the whole DARPA connection has I've only been made aware of that in the last couple of days. So, yeah. But anyway, so you're tying the history in for it.
Yeah, well, look at when Bitcoin came out. Bitcoin came out in 2009. What happened in 2009? The housing bubble came in on itself. Isn't it a coincidence that the same year that the housing bubble comes out, we have a new form of digital currency? Doesn't work, so we got to go back to the drawing board. Who can fix it? The guy who started it to begin with. He's one of the smartest programmers in the world. There's no question. He might not even be from around here.
Right.
Okay?
No. You got to say it like
you're from North Carolina.
He says, you ain't from around here, are you?
He might have been visiting family last month down under.
Yeah.
Well,
So
how come El Salvador has gone for Bitcoin in such a big way?
because they're going to try and squeeze, because the media is being controlled by the billionaires and trillionaires of the world. And they're going to, because they're heavily invested in Bitcoin, they're going to try to squeeze every drop they can, okay, out of Bitcoin and Ethereum first because look, Ethereum is proof of work and it doesn't work. Ethereum is expensive. Ethereum is slow. It's got the same problems. Nobody wants to pay these heavy duty gas fees. The word is out on the street that all the NFTs are going to be built on what? XRP, correct? We're about to explode. You're probably, look, you guys might own an XRP that's probably worth maybe $600, but they're not telling you that because you're not allowed to know. Correct? So think about this for a second. So we're taking over the NFT market. We're taking over the movement of all of the money on earth, $5 quadrillion per year. You hear me tell the story ad nauseum, right? $5 quadrillion per year. The derivatives market, the real estate market, the stock markets of the world, all of it. The SWIFT market, which moves 7 trillion, 6 to 7 trillion, depending on which week, per week. No, I'm sorry, per day, 6 to 7 trillion per day. You're going to move $6-7 trillion per day with a 62-cent coin? I don't think so. Okay, so the argument, so they went back to the drawing board when they realized Bitcoin doesn't work. They said, wait a minute, you mean this thing is slow? You mean it's expensive? You mean it only moves like 2 transactions per minute? Yes. Houston, we got a problem. So they invented this bullshit story on steroids saying it's, it's a savings plan. It's a, what do they call that? A store of gold, a store value. What are the words that they created? So many
value.
Huh?
Store value.
Store value.
Store value, right? It's where you store your gold. What happens if everybody wants it because it doesn't have any intrinsic value? If you can't use it for payments and it doesn't fix anything, if everybody tomorrow decides to sell their Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin worth? Nothing. Zero.
But it was all rooted in evil, right? I mean, it was the.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a whole other show, Cheryl. That's a whole other show. Okay. Now check this out. How are you going to fix it? You can't fix it. So you got to create a new coin. We created XRP. XRP is the new Bitcoin. So basically, Brad Garlinghouse went with the bankers and said, like a gangster, said, hey, don't worry about it. You're with me. Yeah, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry about it, right? So check this out. The banks know they've been hacked. The CBDCs are not going to work. Why? Because everybody in this room here knows one thing emphatically. And once the world knows what everybody knows here in this little room, it's good night, Irene, it's over, right? Because once they figure out that we can pay each other peer to peer, if you have an ice cream shop and you put a sign on your door and says, here's my receiving address for XRP, we accept XRP. Can I come into your ice cream shop and buy an ice cream? Yes.
Here's the
You
cue.
get your money in 2.8 seconds. I paid
So in other
$2.50.
words,
Yeah,
they're cutting out the banks.
bingo.
Oh yeah.
And that's why the delay, that's why the manipulation, that's why the black swan, that's why we went from $1.20 to fluctuating between 70 and 80 cents for a bunch of months. Now they knocked us down to 62 cents. If they can figure out how to knock us down to 50 cents, I say, bring it on, because we're ready to buy some more, baby. Let's go. You know, in the end, we're going to get richer because we know what it is.
We know what we hold, right, Mel? So I have a question for everybody. If we know what we hold, I want to posit like each person, starting with Greg and then to Ben, and I think I know your answer, Mel. If Bitcoin has made 65,000 as an all-time high, is there any reason why XRP isn't going to do that?
Bingo. Hello. We have intelligent life in the room, folks. Bingo. Because see, if we're going to be tokenizing stuff, if you can buy a piece of real estate through tokenization, right? Why would gold be backing up XRP? Gold is not a technology. The technology is going to be backing up the gold. We are going to tokenize all of the gold, all of it. And when you understand that, you understand that a $35,000 price of XRP or $135,000 price of XRP is not out of the realm. When we confiscate the gold that was stolen over the last 2,000 years, not the last 20 years, not the last 200 years, over the last 2,000 years. All the wars that have been fought over gold, and that gold is stored underneath, just like in the Philippines. Correct? So when you take that into account, so this store of value story that Bitcoin, if you're a Bitcoin Nancy out there, I will eat your lunch in 2 seconds, because you come into my court of law and I'm the judge, okay? And we say, okay, your token, you say it's a store of value. We know that a store of value is not a functionality, it's not a utility, and it doesn't fix nothing. So let's put that into a nice little neat box. Let's put a bow on it and let's move it over here. Now let me ask you guys, what do you guys do? Silence in the room. You see, that's why the Michael Novogratz and the Michael Saylors will never step into a room with one of us, because we will destroy them, because their case holds no water. Zero.
Right. Store of value is pure spin, because they got found out, all those maxis got found out that it does nothing. It's expensive and does nothing and uses a lot of electricity.
Right. Now, let's take it to the other extreme. Let's say tomorrow, XRP, just hypothetically, I'm just creating a story just for shits and giggles. XRP goes to $1,000, everybody's rich. Within an hour, everybody decides we're going to sell our XRP. We're all worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We take all of our XRP, we sell it. XRP does not go to zero. Why? Because it's got intrinsic value, because it solves a problem. It solves problems. We take away the gas fees. You could create NFTs. You could create side chains on our blockchain. You can move money at the speed of sound. It solves a problem. So it might be worth maybe 0.00001 of a penny, but it's still worth something and will never go to a zero. Bitcoin, store of value, is a bullshit story that falls in on itself, because you can't move money. Nobody wants to move money. Hey, listen, I didn't say this. Brad Kimes said 3 months ago on his own videos, twice, on 2 of his videos, he moved 1.5 Bitcoins and it cost him $4,500 and it took him 5 hours. 5 hours to move 1.5 Bitcoins. Okay? Michael Arrington from Arrington Capital moved 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago or so. True story, he lives on the internet. Moves $50 million, and it took 2.8 seconds, and it cost him 30 cents. Who wants to step into the ring? Come on, baby.
Right.
Okay.
You say $1,000 Mel, $1,000 XRP. You know, I think that could be also a honeypot. You know, just get everybody out, get retail out at 1,000, even though they know it's worth 100,000.
Right, exactly. You know, the whole thing here is, let's say some of these people like myself, some people are more optimistic saying, you know, 5-10 years, money's going to go obsolete. That could be true. I'm saying more like 10, 20 because of the human factor, right? And we're a bunch of screw-ups. So the reality is, can you imagine having $1 billion worth of XRP in the bank and the next day money becomes obsolete, somebody hits another switch? I'm going to have to start another QFS room, but this was going to be called Quantum Financial Spending, saying, hey, listen, they're going to shut this thing down. You're not going to, doesn't matter how much money you have, you got to go on a spending spree. Let me show you how to spend all your money. Can you imagine? Think about that for a second, you know?
Hey,
Go
Mel.
hard, go fast.
Mel.
What's up, Greg?
Yeah, I was going to ask a question because, like I said, I'm still new, man. I'm learning, and I appreciate this call, Zoom call. You had mentioned something, or I read something on your site where it said, "Be careful who you buy XRP from. You got to buy from the right entity."
Well, right now, because of the stupid lawsuit, which is multifaceted, and we can get into that for a little bit before we chop it down. You could buy from several places. I understand Uphold is one of them. I can't think of the other one off the top of my head. Ben, do you know?
Which platforms to buy XRP from?
Yes, I know Uphold is one.
Yeah, I've bought off Nexo.
Yeah, there's just a handful, depending on which country you live in. Also,
Yeah.
It's different than if you live in the United States, and if you live in Australia, it's different. It's the wild, wild west out there. So, you know,
Mel,
the
can
lawsuit.
I answer Greg? Can I give him my story? Okay, so I got on
Sure.
Uphold. A friend of mine told me about Uphold before I knew about XRP, and then I was getting deep into doing my own research, DYOR, on XRP. And so I'm on Uphold, I'm buying some other things, some XLM and whatnot, but Uphold is a really good exchange, and they've stuck by with XRP the entire time throughout the lawsuit. It's one of the only exchanges you can do it in the US, and what they also have is a debit card. So I was out in your neighborhood, and I was actually using XRP XLM straight off of a debit card at Taco Bell. You know, I'm ashamed to say I used it at Taco Bell, but that was one that blew my mind because I just had it on my phone. I tap it against their thing, and I'm spending, you know, like some nano coins to buy tacos. And so that's really how easy it can be. I mean, it will just, you can set up whichever account, just like in your bank account online when you're doing your internet banking. You've got little sub savings accounts or your checking account. You just have different coins, and you can set your debit card to go to that coin, and you'll be spending that coin without ever changing it into dollars. It just is spend it. And it sounds like Mel's going to be giving us some Miami interior design and all kinds of jet boats and ways to spend our millions.
Oh yeah, believe me, I have a PhD, a public high school diploma on spending money. Okay, not a problem. So yeah, listen, the lawsuit, as far as I'm concerned, that's another kabuki theater. It's all intentional. It's all by design. There are people above Hinman. There are people above the Claytons. There are people above the Ginslers that you'll never see. You'll never know their name. You'll never know their nationalities. You'll never know nothing about them, that I believe are part of that 17th letter in the alphabet. That are in communications with POTUS, and he said, listen, why a company that's worth billions of dollars is not allowed to leave the United States? You got to ask yourself the question.
Yeah.
Why? Why? They could have easily, we have offices in Singapore, we have offices in Australia, we have offices in the UK by Ben. We have offices in Saudi Arabia. We have offices, we could have just picked up, put everything in a box and say, we're gone. When you guys get your head out of your ass, call us. Because they're not allowed to leave, because that 50 billion XRP that's sitting in escrow is a lot more valuable than we can even imagine. And I believe that there's a strong possibility. I'm not saying I'm right on this one. I'm going on the limb a little bit here. There's a strong possibility that XRP, Ripple, may become the lender of last resort. And if they become the lender of last resort, they're going to get rid of the IMF, the XRP, and the escrow is going to get merged with what? The treasury. They're going to get rid of everybody's debt. We start from a clean slate. They bring in GESARA NESARA, okay? And we have a new monetary system called XRP. And now XRP is going to go to the freaking moon. And Trump is calling these guys that are above the Hinmans and the Jay Claytons and the Ginslers of the world. I say these guys are, if you watch the movie Goodfellas, where you got those guys that want to be gangsters, they're parking the cars for the gangsters, and they're going to get the coffee for the gangsters. That's Ginsler, that's Clayton, that's all of that. That's who you see in the front. That's who's in the front. But you don't see who's the puppet master upstairs, pulling all the strings. So because it's got too much value, XRP is not allowed to leave the United States. POTUS says slap him with a lawsuit. Why are we in a lawsuit? Twofold. One, the SEC is going to lose a lawsuit. Number one, why do they need to lose a lawsuit? Because they need to make the next most important monetary system in the world a household name.
And clearly not a security.
It's clear as day to me. I could be wrong, but I think I got my finger on the pulse. Nobody in the XRP army connects all of these dots. Is there anybody out there? They all do a great job, and I love all of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad mouth. I love these guys, especially digital asset investor. I learned a lot off the guy. But nobody goes as far as connecting all the dots that we connect. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. 100%. I've learned so much.
I have a question about the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I read like a week and a half ago that on a Thursday that it was coming down. And you're kind of talking like it's a long way away. So I'm just curious about that.
I'm glad you went there, Cheryl. That's the most important question of this evening. Okay, here we go. The thing is, when you see that POTUS is coming back, you're going to see it's all going to be like one domino after another. POTUS comes back, the lawsuit goes away, GESARA NESARA gets announced, everybody goes arrested. The whole thing is going to happen all at once, which will prove my theory correct.
Yeah,
So let's say,
I think we're really close.
Yeah, let's say, for example, the lawsuit is won in 2 weeks, just to maybe not make it look so suspicious. POTUS comes back a week or 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Maybe a week or 2 weeks after that, they'll announce GESARA NESARA. It's going to be like.
Where is the
It was already a slow reveal on the Trump rally, the Arizona Trump rally.
Yeah.
The white
across the bottom.
Yeah, it was floating across the bottom. It was basically like a soft reveal. That's what my intel source.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, but where is the lawsuit going on? Where is it being held? Where is it going on?
New York.
It is in New York.
I think so.
Yeah, the lawsuit is going to be held in New York if it goes to trial. If it goes to trial, we might not need to go to trial.
Do you think the price of XRP is going to go up when the case is won?
20, 30 bucks is in the bag immediately. 20, 30 bucks is in the bag immediately.
Okay.
I don't need to be a chart analyst to know that. Okay. And what's going to happen is, they're going to start to, every television channel, every news channel, every business channel in the world in every language you won't be able to turn the channel. Let's just say that they're going to be talking about Ripple, XRP, they just won the case. They just beat the SEC the first time in history. They're going to make it a big deal, okay? Because they need to make it a big deal because they need to brand the name XRP is going to be as synonymous as Google, as synonymous as Facebook and Amazon.
And
Okay.
Greg, I think part of the reason why they've done the case, and like Mel's talking about the puppet masters way above, they're the ones that see that it needs clarity so it can be that massive adoption. So that's why Mel's saying as soon as that case is over, 20-30 bucks is going to be easy because everybody's going to come diving in because they know it's not a security. They know it's a currency. It's basically foreign exchange at that point.
Right.
That's the whole idea of the case right now is the SEC is trying to say that XRP is a security. Is that not correct?
Yes. And they're, you know, it's funny, there's a whole conspiracy thing with oranges. Okay, and Trump, when he had that thing, when he had that opera singer singing from the window after he got over that C-19 thing, remember that? Okay, the oranges always show up supposedly when there's somebody about to get killed, and the Howey test has to do with oranges. It's wild shit. I mean, you know, you
That's
could
in
really
The Godfather, right? It's like in
Right.
The Godfather. Every time you see an orange, somebody's about to get off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, so we don't know. The case could be over tomorrow. The case, I think, is a marker. The minute you see the case is over, I think there shortly after, it's going to unravel. POTUS comes back, GESARA NESARA gets announced, and they're going to release everything all at once. It's going to be in quick succession. Fire at will.
Definitely.
So here's my questions. This is for my wife's benefit.
Sure.
Okay, it's at
You gonna answer the question?
62 cents right now.
Mhm.
Okay, say the court case is done. Okay, and it skyrockets to 20. We'll be kind to say 20 bucks.
Sure.
Went from 62 cents to 20 bucks, right? What's the chances? Well, let me just be blunt. Do you think there will be anybody kicking themselves in the rear end if they don't go and buy it now when it goes to 20 to 30 bucks?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. There'll be people kicking themselves in the ass so hard they'll be breaking their hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me.
You guys-
Here's the thing that people don't understand. When it goes to $20, $30, in the eyes of the world, we have become a legitimate coin because people think something needs to be expensive in order for it to be legitimate. Okay, so I think as people go and try to sell it at the $20, $30 mark, there'll be a whole spool of people, and it'll be 10,000 times more, mark my words, than when it was 30 cents coming in and buying it at 30 bucks. And mostly it's going to be the big corporations that have endless deep pockets.
Yeah. I just learned something new tonight as well, which I just connected another dot as well. That you mentioning, Mel, about NFTs being built off the XRP platform. I already knew about XRP moving the world's money around, which in itself is ridiculously huge amount of intrinsic value. But then on top of that, you build NFTs on the blockchain. The dot that you mentioned, the dot that I connected with that was I've also heard recently that Melania Trump is going
Launching
to
her own NFT.
Yeah, she's going to be doing a whole lot of things on the NFT. So there you go, bingo. Melania Trump. We know the Trumps we know from our research and connecting the dots that the Trumps are very much behind XRP.
I'm glad that you said that because now we want to go out and connect one more dot. Is Melania's NFT being built on the XRP ledger?
Of course it will be.
Let's hope. You got a
I
question?
just know.
I guarantee you,
You guys remember when Melania had the dress that she
oh,
wore?
yes.
It had the blockchain on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And Severin bought 2 of those things for $10,000 a piece.
Wow.
The originals.
Wow.
Well, where I have a whole reservation about any of it, and I definitely got a lot to learn about the money part of it, but it feels like in so many ways, that what we're moving forward with, and if people are excited about making all this money, ties into the same old system that we hope they're getting away with. And I have a problem with that.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, I mean, making money and basically gambling and the whole stock market and how they've controlled everything from the depression through the market and now digital money, and the whole start of Bitcoin was evil and mysterious, and now just the whole thing is like you're saying, it's going to transition over to something that we're going to participate in the same thing that's been going on for 50, 75 years?
No, because I'll tell you why. When you go through our course down below, the Quantum Financial Systems Manual, you'll understand why. The reason, if it was beneficial to the cabal, we would have had a $50 trillion market cap right now. But because it's not beneficial to them and they've lost their power, which means we are getting the power. What did Trump say? We are giving power back to you, the people.
Yeah.
This is all GESARA. I get chills thinking of, and you know about this. There's videos of this. We teach this in our course. We got those videos, I believe, in our course as well. Now, the reality is, if this was beneficial to the cabal, but you see, it doesn't matter, because even if it was beneficial to the cabal, and let's say the market cap was 50 trillion or 150 trillion or 800 trillion, which it will reach those numbers, okay? Where they're going, they're not going to be able to spend any of it.
Yeah.
Well, and like Mel, you've made this point, and Cheryl, so it's like coming out the other side. So there's a split going on where there's cabal bankers, the overlords, the puppet masters that have run everything and run us into the ground. But there's this other split that's coming off where money, we're going to be able to go peer to peer. And so we're not going to need banks. We're not going to need financial advisors. All those guys that were in power are going away. So we're not going to be participating in the same thing. We're going to be like, they're trying to do the great reset and have us own nothing and them be happy. And what's going to happen is this quantum financial system, which is us just being able to be our own bank, really.
Yeah, and on top of that too, we're going into, like, on a spiritual sense,
Right.
Cheryl, we're going like into a completely new, our whole paradigm's going to be shifted. Like, we're going into a completely new, like, dimension or a new era, basically, where we've got, debt jubilee, debt forgiveness. It's, the NESARA GESARA doesn't just cover the XRP part of it. We're, apparently we'll be able to cash in our birth certificate for tens of thousands of dollars. Basically, we'll basically, without realizing, enslaved to the system, and that system is just getting smashed. Thanks to the Trump and the military, and all of us, connected consciousness, us being, the digital soldiers awake, not taking any of that stuff. We've all done it together. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Monkeys.
They're winning. They're not winning. We're winning. If they were winning right now, it would be glorious times, because yes, they're going to tax you 50% if you don't know how to defend yourself. Number one. Number two, the stock market would be booming. The crypto market will be booming, but because they're losing, they're trying to crash all the markets, because it's like this. We got you. We're chasing you out of your own banks, and on the way out, you're burning the furniture, you're burning the carpeting, you're breaking all the windows, you're smashing all the tiles, because you're a sore loser. End of story.
Yeah. Cheryl, like Ben was kind of, if you take Ben's new world a little more, it's almost like we're getting another sense. Our 5 senses are going to become like 6 or 7. Like, don't you feel like your bullshit meter is like intuitive?
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the same page. This will tell you, Ben, your connective consciousness. I'm a big Simon Parks fan.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, he's quality. He's quality.
And I like Charlie because it's all pantomime.
That's a good invitation.
Get your popcorn. Let's go.
Oh, you smashed it.
He's kidding.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
good.
man.
It's
Hey,
good.
listen. Please tell me you guys are as much as knowledgeable as you are about the stuff we're talking about. Please tell me you still are like us, like going, WTF exclamation point, man. What is taking so long? You know, come on, you got him. We got it all. Is what Trump likes to say. We got them all. And then when he accepted the nomination, no, his speech when he got elected 4 years or 5 years ago was, we're taking it from them and giving it back to the people, the power. But then he you know, Biden comes in and it's like a kick in the gut.
Yeah.
You know, I literally wanted to throw up the day he got supposedly, you know, put in. I was like, bleh.
The guy that can't fill 6 circles in his backyard, who's got to use up his makeup people and his camera people and put them in those 6 circles, won the election.
Well,
Really?
It's not real.
Popular.
It's not real. It's not real. The inauguration was not real.
But like Greg, that kick in the gut, I think, was part of the plan too. You know, if you think about the white hats and how corrupt all of these different governments are, and to have a military operation that goes in and sniffs out whether people are on the good, white hat, black hat. It's taken years. They've been at this for whatever.
Yeah, X22 loves to say that, but I think we're at the saturation point where some people never got it. They ain't never gonna get it.
It's a shame that it had to come this far to wake up the masses. Because if you take a look at Kennedy's gravesite from a 100-foot view, it's in the 17th letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been fighting this for a long time.
You have to show people.
I want to share something with you guys that's been a main source of my hope. And it was on December 21st of 2020. So, right, Trump was still in office. And we laid in the bed one night and said just a real simple prayer, like, Lord, bring us justice. We're ready to see justice. Simple prayer. And we said it, we're laying there, and God gave me a vision. And it was a vision over DC, and it was like spokes that were over a map of DC, like thousands of them, spokes, and they were gold. They had like a gold threaded ambiance. They were like alive and had God's power in them. And the word that I got was that everything that Trump is doing in and around Washington, DC is anointed by me, God.
Wow.
And that has given me, that's been my hope. The fact that he gave me that, and that was before January 6th, which we happened to go. And then everything unfolded, but I go back to that and source, if that's what you want to call him. God communicates with us. He gives us information. He gives us discernment. And that's the main thing we got to focus on.
I feel like that's true. I don't know if it's true for everybody. I feel like it's true for everybody in this room that we were all brought here by him.
Well, listen, something's guiding me. I don't know where I'm getting all of this energy. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I work for 2 hours. I go to bed. I wake up at 11:30, and I'm doing it every day. And I'm not getting paid for this, but there's things that are happening, and money's still coming in, and I'm still paying my bills, and and I don't have to touch my investments and all of that. So something's definitely in the ether, and what that ether is, I don't know. I'm not, I don't profess to know, but I'm just going along. I want to help everybody. I want to see, when I heard that the cabal hates us, I want to create as many of us to become multi-billionaires just to be spiteful. just to be spiteful. You know what I mean?
Hey, one quick question. I'm looking at Michael in Santa Fe and Ben. You're in where? Australia?
I'm from Australia originally, but I'm living in London in the UK.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there any way we can communicate after tonight's call, or is that like a no-no?
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
you
For
can,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm always happy to have a chat, have a phone call,
Yeah.
video
Okay.
call. Yeah.
So what do we exchange information now or?
Well, you guys could definitely meet each other in the room immediately following this call inside the Telegram group. That's one way. Or I can have Amber shoot out an email to all of you and include all of you in one email.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, do that. Do the email, because after this, I'm toast,
Yeah.
man. I got stuff I got to do.
Well, and even on the invite for this Zoom has all of our emails in that invite.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, guys, we're going to do it again. Here's the way we're going to run it. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Costa Rica time, which is Central Standard, is a fixed day. Whoever, it's like first come, first serve. And then sometimes I may send out an email saying, hey, in 2 hours, I want to have a spur of the moment podcast. Anybody out there available? If anybody's got time, just jump on. As soon as we get 2-3 people, we shut it down. That's it. That's the podcast. And we're going to basically run by the seat of our pants and see where it goes. That's the way I've always done it anyway.
That's life anyway.
Exactly.
And so I can send you my Cheryl's contact info as well, right? For the Zoom.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Send it to the same email, and we're going to build a database of everybody who's interested in doing this, and we'll just keep doing it. You know, eventually, like I said, we're going to win. I think we're close, but I don't want to put a date on it. You know, it was nice seeing all you guys. Thank you for participating. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for you guys bring a lot to the table. And I can't do this without you anyway.
Hey,
Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
inviting
I just discovered you guys, so you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
I
so
appreciate
much,
it.
guys.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And be in touch as well.
Michael.
Greg and Cheryl and Michael, be in touch. We've got each other's details on email, so we'll be in touch.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.